Good morning on day 4 at Camp Ice Station Zebra. Freezing outside. Good -5 last night. And the wind's picking up. Oh no, we'll get wind chill now. It started about, it's amazing, I went out for Core Nature about 7. No wind. Just got in the hammock. As soon as I got in the hammock, the wind picked up and it started going crazy. Thankfully, it's coming from the east, which is behind us, and we're sheltered with the trees. The only bad thing about that is if the wind does pick up and the branches are a bit brittle, some might start dropping. So, all's fun and games. Oh no, my fire's gone out, I think. Yep, my fire's gone out. So it's cold coffee. Sorry dogs, we're all going to freeze. What did Daddy do wrong there? I would like to say I had a good night's sleep, but I didn't. My knee was aching and it was giving me some stick. It was alright when I got up, but every time I got up to check on the dogs or call on nature and walked around, it's fine. As soon as I lie down, it started aching. So they keep rubbing their top on the condensation. I've kept it closed at the moment just to get some heating, but I'll open that draft. That ventilation at the bottom in a minute. I'm having muesli and trying to get a fire started. The joys of being out in the wilds when it's freezing. And it's 9:38. It'll be 10 o'clock by the time I get the fire going. And the funny thing about that is, in 5 hours time it gets dark. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy in the winter. So I think it's a lazy day for us. Make sure Stella's rested because she was well overdone it and my knee's giving me a bit of stick. And if it's windy, we'll be out in the icy winds, and that'll even make it worse. Right, wish me luck with this fire. Moved. Looking at the dogs, they wake me up to get me up, so I get up and they go back to sleep. Figure that one out. I thought they wanted to go running around outside, but no. Got my coffee on, fire's blaring away lovely. I've got my monitor here, so just what it does, it see how it glows green. Now go off, now go green. That's to tell you everything's okay and you're not going to die. Look at that. About to doze off, fighting to sleep, fighting. I'm surprised with Stella after what she did yesterday, that she's still walking. So, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I've been too cautious with her at home. Because several times she's wanted to come out with us and I've gone, no, Stella, it's too much for you. And she's literally come to the door wagging the tail with me, you know what I mean? I said, no, I can't, Stella. And then later on I'd take her for a little mile, you know what I mean? And she seems happy with that, but she gets stiff. And I wonder if I'm making it worse by not giving her, I'm not going to take her on 5-mile walks, but just extending it a little bit so it loosens the joints better. Because I think after what she did yesterday proves, I mean, Christmas Day I left her in the tent, went out for a gander with these two up the track there and everything, and she was alright. She stayed in the tent because she was tired. But yesterday she would not stay in the tent, so I'm going to have to play it by ear and see what each day what she's like, and if she can do it, I'll give her some walking. Say you're in a kind of catch-22. She's 16. You think, well, she mustn't do much because she's 16. But the problem is, that can sometimes work against her. because you're being too protective. I know my knee's stiff. I'm trying to bend my knee. It's stiff. It's all right, no aches or pains. It's just when I was lying in the hammock last night, it was just started throbbing. It's like, oh. I couldn't find a comfortable. I think I hung the hammock wrong last night. I think I hung it, I don't know, my head too low or something. I don't know, something was wrong. After walking and getting the fire and being nice and lazy mode, I just jumped in the hammock. I didn't really test it out good. Do a better job tonight. I'll show you the hammock. I'm impressed. It's a Dutch wear chameleon, as I said, with a sewn-in underquilt. I love the hammock. The idea is good. The quality seems decent, but it's let down by one thing, and that's the stitching across the bottom. The stitching that goes across the bottom of the hammock to keep the baffles, or whatever you like to call it, down in certain segments. And I've noticed, and I'm just wearing, look, I'm wearing these soft thermal fluffy, no zips, no nothing. I've noticed the stitching's coming undone, which is, that's poor quality, isn't it? Shouldn't be happening. So I might put a review up on YouTube, and maybe Dutch will get Dutch will send a message and explain it, because I know he's a genuine guy, and he's, you know, he cares about his products, but a bit naughty that is. Look at that ember. Where did that ember come down from? Landed on my stove. It flew through the gap. It came through the gap there. So it proves some of the wood is flickering up and then coming down. Still got the 2 holes. Oh, hold on, 3 holes. The one up there. Damn it. Happens with fire. It's supposed to be fire retardant material on the top, but it ain't that fire retardant, is it? Oh, it's getting hot in here. I'm going to have to open that vent now to get some coolness, otherwise we'll cook in here. Good thing is, look at it, 8 degrees already. It was -1 when I got up. Whew, slow that down. You don't want to cut it all off, or she tends to die out. Alright. I'm just chatting to you while waiting for my coffee. The other thing I've got to do today is check supplies, because I threw all their dog food in, but I packed a week, my mind's going. I packed a month ago. I wanted to get out earlier, but the weather just wouldn't allow me, and my leg, and I was checking everything, you know what I mean, with Rebel and me. So I had to find the right time, and luckily the break came at Christmas. I thought, perfect, that is absolutely perfect. But I can't remember if I packed 6 days or 7 days food for them. So it would help to know, wouldn't it? I'm in no rush to get back. I'd stay here every day and just sit in the hammock. Listen, apart from the wind and Stella groaning, and she's not in pain, she's just being dog moan like to moan sometimes. Look at her. Being friendly with Rogue. What's the matter with you? I'll have them out in a bit. God, the temperature's rising in here. Now I'm going to have to put you off before I melt. The wind's coming from, I don't know, it sounds easterly. It should be easterly, but it sounds to be southerly, maybe southeasterly. Ooh. Maybe it's just the way it's coming around the slopes there. Bitter. I just chat a reading, it's +2, believe it or not, where we're standing here, because look, Again, no frost. But with the wind chill, it's in the negative, I think it was -1. And that's here. And we're quite sheltered here, even though there's a bit of a gap there. But look at that ground. And again, site selections, everything. Ooh, I can feel that wind coming behind me now. Crazy, isn't it? Wow, that is freezing, that wind. Here, hardly a frost. We did get some last night, but it soon disappeared. Again, with a shelter. Out there. The reason I also came in, the route I came in, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if it'll pick them up. I saw some cows there earlier today. They've moved, typical, isn't it? But there's that area there, the cows, he has a lot of young calves, about a year old. And last time they chased us, then they ran away, then they chased us. It was like crazy games. And with dogs it's always hard. Because the farmer sees the cows running, you think we've been chasing them, when in fact it was the cows chasing us. I doubt if there'll be much wood left in here soon. Not because of wild campers or anything, but look at it, it all blows down and rots. The ground is so soggy and boggy. The roots can't take it. The tree gets so tall and then in the end going over with the slightest of wind. Thankfully here it seems pretty firm. You can see where old stumps are broken. I think we're safe. The one I'm strapped to is not exactly the strongest tree, but it took us last time. It's probably not the best of trees, to be honest, but I don't think the winds are going to be gale force. I've got to check the weather. Wow, that wind is cold. Yeah, definitely being lazy today. I just come out just to get back out. As I say, Stella did wonders yesterday. It's just nice to get away from the rat race, isn't it? And kind of no noise apart from the wind, the odd tree falling on you, you know what I mean? Apart from screaming kids, arguing couples, heavy traffic, police, fire engines flying all over the place, jets flying overhead, you know what I mean? It's crazy noises, isn't it? City centres, even the outer limits of the cities. So beautiful, so cold though. So I'll show you my logs. See, that's what I was cutting before, and I thought I was doing a good job. But you see, it's only the centre that's dry. That's my chopping block. So as I say, I was cutting them off there, and I was thinking, like, because it's off the ground, it's been off the ground for so long, but obviously the water and frost, see, it's just the dead centre bit is dry. So you're putting that in, you think, oh, I've done a great job chopping that down, but no. This I've just dragged all the wood I could find around to barricade my lines, and also use if I need fire starting, because it'll be out of the frost. But that way, if the dogs, because the dogs always go that way, so they come running back, they ain't going to go running through a load of twigs and branches. They're going to go round. Same with hiking poles. Put them there to stop the dogs going through the lines. And I did something similar here, but didn't quite make it. They don't tend to go around that side, I don't know why. There's deer trails along the fence where they walk along, or someone's been walking along. And you'll see the odd tree that's got no bark on. I'd guess the antlers are being used on the trees. They're rubbing their antlers, see there? On there. It's got to be deer doing that, isn't it? Ripping them off. And that, of course, that then kills the tree. And that's a dead tree, more or less. So if that pushes over, that's the dead tree test. If it pushes over, it's dead. Then I've not cut anything, have I? No, it didn't fall down. Whoa, my hands are going blue. Right, I'm going in. Drink my coffee and just warm up. Just thought I'd show you what the real world's like out here. I bet you've all eaten so many mince pies. We've got some wild geese or something here. I've got to be honest, I like, you know, Christmas food's lovely. I like a mince pie or a bit of turkey, but I don't miss it at all. I think it was a crow, to be honest. Just flew off. I don't miss that sat in front of the telly, eating like crazy, having friends around that you don't really like, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, but it's true, isn't it? How many of us do it? Oh, so-and-so's come around. Hello, Merry Christmas. Oh, you didn't need to buy me a present. Oh, brilliant. What I've always wanted. Liar, liar. Oh dear. If we could only have a truth detector. Wire up, everyone. So funny. Nah. I've done that many years ago. I tell you, some of the ones I had where everyone was in the house and there was utter noise and utter chaos. It was some of the worst Christmas I ever had. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have your loved ones around you and have a nice, quiet, calm, enjoyable Christmas. Go for a walk together and do things like that. That's lovely. But chaos? No. Getting drunk, falling over? No, no, no. It's a great fix coming out. You go back and you feel so much better for it. Right, I'm going in. I am freezing. I just thought I'd show you something outside today, because I'm probably going to be hibernating in there with this wind. It's freezing. And the funny thing is, before I do go in, I said it was, I haven't, apart from 3 people I saw Christmas Day, I think the family at the farm going for a walk, or the younger lads, I haven't seen no one. And the weather's been great for day hikes, you know what I mean? I'm guessing people have been up Stubgubber, but you would have thought someone would come up here and go for a walk to the bridge and maybe come back or something. Nothing, not a soul. And today's Saturday. Really, really strange. I honestly thought I'd see people up here, maybe even someone trying to do a wild camp. But no, not a soul. Right, definitely going in now. Through the frozen jungles. Look, I got ice still in there. And that was inside the tent. And, can you believe it? Stella doesn't want to come out today. Oh dear dog. Strangest dog ever. She wants to be lazy, I think. Good. That's exactly what I wanted to do, so she recovers from yesterday. But why couldn't she have done that yesterday? Would have been easy on her. Whoops. Yeah, I think it's a bit frostier. So what I'm doing now is, during the day while we're here, I'm burning that damp wood. That's such a so-and-so to get going, but it can smoulder and just give us some light heat in there if we're in the tent. And saving all the good things, all the good wood, for night, and the good things. Oh, thank you, Rick. Not picking up it. That's the next thing I've got to do. What I'm doing is picking up all the bits or drop-ins around that camp because it's a nice area, but if they go somewhere that's out of the kind of camp area, same as like here, if they do it here I'm not too worried about it, but if they do it up near the where people pitch, then yeah, I'm not happy about that. Sorry dogs, you're marking your territory, are you? Because it'll freeze and degrade by then, but just in case people wild camping or anything like that, I don't want them treading in it. It's just common decency, isn't it? But out here, in amongst there's deer poo, there's everything, you name it. Oh, nearly fell. You're all waiting when you all go, go on, go on. All over. Now this river was frozen yesterday when it came down. So now the sun's on it, I wonder what it's like now. Haven't seen no deer or anything around here. No humans either. Yeah, it's still frozen. Wow. Heavy frost on that. Going for a morning gander. When I say morning, it is, sorry, 11:47. Rebel, you wake the neighbours up, shut up. I want to see how bad this is. I mean, look at it down here. Don't know if you can see. I mean, I just trod on the ice, it took my weight. That's why it's so dangerous, because you're going to glide on it. I thought I'd punch through it, but no. I've left my bags back there. I'm not carrying them all down here for a walk. So, look at it. As I say, I took a route. It wasn't that, I thought it was lower, the water level. It wasn't. It looks quite low, but there's great big puddles of deep areas. I don't know if it, because it's under the ice, I don't know if it's building up, the water's building up. Can't even see our footprints now, look. So what I'm also doing is having a look to see if anything else has been through here. And from what I can gather, that's where we went through yesterday. See all the kind of mashed up ice. That's why I was dragging Stella. Ooh, she got stuck in a puddle, freezing puddle. Yeah, under the water, under the ice, the water's quite deep. I think it must build up, whereas normally it just run down. It's backing up. Sorry, you're on the zoom. Not a soul about. Look at the weather. This is perfect hiking conditions, as long as you got the gear. People should be going by here going, hello, morning, and going for a nice little stretch. Great to be on the hills, as long as you set off early. If you set off on the track in the dark with a head torch, your timing would be perfect. There again, it would be quite icy on some stretches on these Monroes or whatever. So you'd have to be careful, or grippers or crampons some areas. But I wanted to go up for a tunnel, but we can't get across the water without them getting drenched in icy water. Yeah, should we go down the track and come back and pick the bags up? I'm talking to you like you're with me. Right. Oh dear, dear, dear. You've got to be very careful with your feet on this stuff. It may to you look like, I mean, I'll give you the example. Look. Just sheer ice. And frost, heavy frost and sheer ice. Yeah, we'll go for a gander down there. Stretch your legs. Thing is, it's 12 o'clock now. I've not had lunch. I've not even brushed my teeth. And it gets dark at 3. So, figure that one out. Crazy, isn't it? Now, we'll walk to the second river crossing that's normally high. I'll make sure they don't get in the water. But I didn't want to bring Stella across this way because I didn't want to put her in the cold water because I knew the temperature of the water would be freezing. It wouldn't do her joints any good. I didn't know she was going to get stuck yesterday. So we'll probably go back the way we came in. I'll look for breaking the fence in a bit and see if there's a quick way I can cut through, because the deer bring down fences and there's always a gap somewhere. Then we can make it easier getting back. I'll probably get back to my water bags and it'll be frozen solid. I'll catch you up there. Yeah, too icy and too cold. Flats. Road. Do I have to discipline you, Platts? I have to sound stern, so she don't want them getting in the water even a little bit, because get back camp and once we stop they'll start freezing. But yeah, in the summer it'd be nice to wade through this, but not for this time of year for Stella. Freeze her out. I was just looking at any other lower areas crossed, but there ain't. Sometimes you get some really low areas. Every year it changes. Right, and there's no cows. There should be cows over there. I'm sure I saw some cows earlier. Just over there. Yeah, can't see them. That's where they normally hide, over there. He's brought them in for winter. Right, back to our water bottles. Go on in. Rogue, get out! Sorry for shouting. She was going to sneak down that river. Just enjoying my time out in the fresh air. To be honest, now the sun's on us and the wind's blowing, but it's not blowing gusty now. It's just a constant little breeze. Feels nice. It's amazing, the first day you get out here, you feel cold. And I was cold in the hammock. Second day, you're getting used to it. By the third day, you don't even really notice it, as long as you do all the common sense things. Make sure you got heating. Keep your gear dry. Keep yourself warm, but don't overheat. Definitely don't sweat. And watch your footing. You'll be fine. And I tell you, about a week out of here and you'll be so used to it, it'll seem like an everyday thing. When you get home, put the heating on, you'll probably end up feeling ill. So I've got to check my supplies. This is the 4th day we've been here, so I'm hoping at least another 2. I'm sure I've got enough gear for that. Oh, has he been in wet water? Yeah, kill him. Luckily I've got a towel. See, these people say, oh, you're bringing too much gear. I have to bring 2 lots of jacket, because these jackets I want to be visible, but I also want some kind of protection. They don't need it, but it's just nice to have some kind of protection to keep them slightly warmer. Then you need a towel. I tried with chamois, you can, but once it gets wet and starts freezing, then it's useless. The towel I can dry in the front of the fire. That's extra weight. Then you've got the winter jackets. They must not get wet because they're for night time, so they can stay warm, and they need them. It was -1 inside the tent last night, so once the fire gone out. So, you know what I mean? I don't want to freeze it. So that's the extra gear, and then you're thinking dog food. You got to bring a saw, a knife, and an axe. You could probably get well, no, you definitely do need a saw, and you definitely do need an axe. So I was going to say you could probably get away without a saw, but no, you do. You got to cut. You can cut the wood with an axe. What other extras? See, I've got a Superfly. I could easily pitch a Superfly if I weren't worried about Stella. I could pitch a Superfly and I've used like that fire pit. I have an open fire, so that would take away the stove. That would also take away a heavy tarp. And get them in a lightweight shelter. I've got a little bivvy kind of shelter for them to get in. So as long as they're covered, but it's trying to keep them covered up, because once they uncover themselves, they can start to freeze, won't they? I know they're dogs, but they're domesticated, aren't they? They're not wolves. Haven't heard anything about that missing dog. Yeah, near Nevis, but Nevis. No updates. So I don't know if it's still missing. Yeah, my concerns about this case, oof, too many. I mean, I've got to go on the idea that he's lost, and did get lost out here. There's always the case that, you know, he walked out himself intentionally. But there's a third one that I've never approached because I don't want to do it. But it's still in the back of my head, you know. I know the 2 people didn't walk down that Glen Kinglass way, because they would have gone through the same weather conditions, flooded river and drastic flooding on the moorlands and all that they never even mentioned. So I don't believe that. And then you have to raise the question why they've never talked to anyone, because they probably knew they'd probably get caught out if people asked them questions. So then you've got to go to stage 3, and my friend Derek, before he passed away, sadly, not 11 months ago, last January. Sad. But me and him both said the same thing from the day one. This is off that we didn't say on video. Was the tent actually put there and staged? I know it's an awful thing to say, but it's the first thing that came into my head, and Derek said the same. We're ex-police. He talked to friends as well in the force, and all his gear was laid out. Everything was ready, all kind of presentable. And I know it's an awful thing to say, but was the tent put there? Did he put it there, or did someone else? I know. Not a question I like to ask, but I'm sure others have thought the same. Because what are the chances that I've searched nearly everywhere around here? I mean, all the plantations I've tried to get in. I mean, if I can't get into me, no one else could. Not unless they kind of force themselves through. I've even been round the back there, up the slopes, in the valleys, down Glen Kinglass, all around through these plantations around the back. As you've seen up there, up to the waterfall. I've covered all these banks. what's the chances that the very one place that Neil ended up is the one place I've missed? Very low, aren't they now? As I'm clearing areas. But as I say, I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm doing it for the right reasons. So, can I get up there? That would be a better way for me to go rather than through the water. Why didn't I do that the first time? And I know this route a million times because I normally pitch here in the summer. Now, the question is, if Neil did, or someone, let's just say someone, did stage that tent, so where's Neil? Did something happen to Neil somewhere else? Don't forget they went to what's the place called? Oh, Tyndrum, sorry. And camped there the day before. He actually came up here. Did something happen near the Tyndrum way? Did he go hiking up there and get lost? So many questions, isn't there? Don't know. You think about it sensibly. Where can someone go? All right. It's look at an example. Let's put someone else instead of Neil there, right? And say, well, you know, someone had slight early signs of dementia, walked out his tent, and didn't take anything with him, no personal possessions or anything, in bad weather. How long would you last? Not long at all in them conditions at that age. And as for someone saying there was a sighting, you know, if I went missing today and no one's been here, right, you can guarantee someone will come forward and say, oh, I think I saw the guy with 2 dogs near Glenetiv. It always happens. Every time someone goes missing, people don't mean wrong, they mean to help, but they get confused. Sometimes they see someone that resembles the description, or their mind resembles that description, and they try and help. So, and that person that was seen near the tent could have been anyone near the tent. That was an older gent. Could have been someone passing by. Because when you work it out, the description given out of Neil was 100%, a million miles away from the description Neil actually was. So how did someone see Neil at the tent on that Sunday, the last sighting at Loch Dochart, on the track south of Loch Dochart? How did someone see Neil and describe, yeah, I saw him, when the actual person was 100 times different than the person that was in the photos? Because the person was well aged, portly, looked nothing like the photos that were put out in the description in the papers. So that's one to ask. If I put a photo of me when I'm 30, of me now, and someone says, yeah, I saw Bill when he looked like 30, trust me, can't be the same person when I'm this age, can it? Do you get what I mean? So we all change with age, so it doesn't make sense that bit. So as I say, they're the things that have been niggling in the back of my mind all along, from day one, to be honest. And I've always said it, and I always keep on it. But I'll keep searching. So once I've cleared all these areas, I can say I've done everything I can. I can't think where he could be, unless he's walked like 10 miles out. But the good thing is, it's giving good experience for the dogs. It's giving me good experience. If I can get someone to check that lock out with a good dog, then we can clear that, and it'll kind of, anyone looking on my videos for the future, you know, that's concerned about Neil being missing still and all that after so many years, can look back and say, well, a lot of searching was done in that area and nothing was found. They did everything. So you can sometimes see why mountain rescue and the police, will stop a search after a certain time, because imagine if they kept coming up on a regular basis up here and still finding nothing and still getting nothing. It's using valuable resources, trying to do a good thing, but end up, directing them in the wrong place. And sadly, Neil's not the only one that's missing. There's quite a few people still missing. There's a German tourist missing from years ago. Road, leave that! From many years ago, and that's up Glenfinnan way, up in the hills up there. Then there's a guy, as I say, that was missing up near Benmore Lodge. Then there's an Ian Ross that went missing near Torridon, but nothing's been put out. And that was only about a year ago or so. But they believe he went out in the higher areas. So very little is known. You see, when someone goes out on them by themselves and doesn't tell anyone anything, and says, "Oh, I'm going up here," and maybe has a change of mind when they get out of a car park or get off a bus or something, then they literally could have gone anywhere, couldn't they? So it's always hard to figure out where someone might have gone. I don't do any, these high. I'll go on like some of these summits on these ridge lines and all that, not a problem. But I won't do any of these mountains, these slopes that you need experience for, because I haven't got mountaineering experience. I know there's no way I could get the dogs up some of them slopes, and it'd be too dangerous trying to look after myself as and the dogs at the same time. That's for mountaineers to do. But the wilderness, your standard slopes, Munros, whatever. If I have to go out of Munro, I'll go out of Munro, no problem. But any of these experienced stuff, no, I can't do that. I'm not experienced dirt. I wouldn't do it, especially in winter, not a chance. That's for the experts. I'm just a volunteer, just trying to help. Right, monsters, let's go back to camp. Sorry, I was just speaking out loud, but I'm not being negative on anyone, but sometimes you do wonder, don't you? It's just sometimes you got to open your mouth. You know what I mean? It's just something's not right somewhere, is it? As I say, I'd love to be proven wrong and sadly find him, and then we can closure for the family and friends. But I've got a funny feeling this one could go on years. Luckily, I love the area. As I say, you can never get bored. I mean, look at it. There's areas here that no one's ever walked in. I'm telling you now. There's valleys. Maybe a stalker, maybe 2-3 years ago, has been up in some of these areas, but not on a regular basis. They use different areas, different years. I don't know who's worse. He's just such an idiot, isn't he? Right, back to camp. Getting colder. But what I've seen is a great big cloud bank coming over at us from Bridgewalkie way. I'll do one or two things. Just pass through and make it milder, because there won't be no frost later if it's quite a big cloud bank. Or two, give us a shower of snow. It's cold enough. And then it's gone a little milder as well. That makes sense. It dipped really low, then it got milder. Obviously you can see, look, it's still icing up the water, so it's cold, but it's not as cold as it was. That could be a sign of some snow. And look, on the tops, not a single flake really. A little bit over there. This time of year, you'd expect to see some snow on the tops. So I'm just doing my water dump the dogs, chain them to a rail somewhere. To be honest, I've not stopped all day. I know that sounds crazy. I sat down, had lunch, been chopping more wood. You can never get enough wood. Been trying to burn some of it. I've had the fire off and on more or less through the day. Stella's looking a bit weak and tired from yesterday, so I make sure she's warm enough. I knew she overdone it. I mean, it's crazy dog, shouldn't be doing that. The other two were tired, let alone her. Well, I don't know, it might be just a little amount of cloud, because like, you never know, it might be a snow shower or something like that. I don't mind a little dusting of snow, I just don't want lots of snow. It's really make going tough. Listen. Nothing. That's exactly what you want, isn't it? Sadly, looked like the mountain rescue helicopter was out again about half an hour ago. Everyone's going on the mountains, and they now they've had their Christmas dinner. Still merry, sliding, especially in these conditions. Hopefully no one's injured bad or lost completely. Hopefully they can be found and no further issues. Been a bad year again. There's been a few people sadly. Again, it seems to be older men in their late 60s, my age, 70s, but it all says they're experienced walkers, but when you listen to the story, they ain't got the experience out here. One was going through Noidart, an older guy, and he says he was complaining that he was up thigh high in bog. It started raining, the conditions were terrible, and he got completely lost because the visibility is bad. Well, first thing, did he have a compass? Second, did he have a map? Third, did he have a personal locator beacon? Fourth, did he have the appropriate gear? Sadly, an answer to all of them, no. So, when you come out here, you're going to be knee deep and bog anytime. It can change, the weather can change. Just to see him like this. This could be showers, this could be nothing, just a bit of cloud coming over. You're always watching the skies, even on good days, just to see what's coming so you can guess. I mean, we're alright, we're not going anywhere. But you got to think like, we ain't seen no cloud for, what, 4 days? I'm not saying we're getting clouds, so could be something coming in, could be nothing. No one's been down here. Since we were here this morning. No one's trudged through the ice or anything. No broken ice. No stags, nothing. God, look how sheety it gets. And that makes it deeper, you see. Because now all that ice is blocking the water underneath. So it funnels up there. Yeah. No footprints. Nothing. Which I'm very surprised. This is perfect hiking weather just to get your legs out. Get some fresh air in you. But nothing. Well, yeah, I've chopped a load more dry wood. Good. Went around picking dog droppings. There weren't much, thank God. Got to find a hole and start digging that and getting that buried. Trying to burn some of that damp wood, as I say. I've been trying to look for a break in the fence, but I can't find one. If there's a break in the fence, you see, we can cut through the break and then cut up to the path. I'm going to have a look over there, just in case deer have brought something down, you never know. Wow, look at that beastie. That wasn't down last time. Look at the size of that. Imagine that coming down at night when you're camped. My God. Oh, I've got a place to dig for their poo bags. That's muddy. It'll be sticky as well, very boggy. Look at that. I don't know how long is that tree. I'll have a look in a minute. Oh, two come down. There's another one up behind it, so they came down together. Made that make a flood when that came down. That wasn't here last time, for sure. See, the roots are so small, the ground's so boggy. Well, I was here in July and that went down, but it looks like it's been down a while. Plenty of wood, but it looks a bit manky here. It's been in the frost, you see. But you see what I mean? There's plenty of wood around here. Just finding dryish wood. Rogue's barking because she knows I've gone, but she can hear someone moving around and she don't know it's me. She's a rat protector. Still got life in it, so might be green. Dry, I mean. Yeah, it looks dry inside. I'll have to come down a saw piece and say a decent sized piece. Check it out, right there. It's white in the middle. It's burnable. It's a good place to come down to and have a look. I came round to have a look at the fence. I'm not worried about Rogue barking. That's not a worried bark, she can hear me. Should have seen me in a minute. She's a good guard dog. The wind's blown down, you see, so she can't pick up the scent. Oh, I've got to find a way through this bog without sinking. Would help if you tie your boots up, wouldn't it, Bill? Hey! Now she'll have heard me. Oh. Yeah, I have to check around some of them branches. Oh, she ain't picked me up yet. So there's a gate there to go over, but I can't get the dogs over that. I was just hoping the deer had brought the fence down. We could cut through on the way out when we go in a couple of days' time. Now this is normally really boggy. So I've got to be careful with it. And very deep hole. Balance. Walk where you can see. Hey! Right, I'll stop here because I've got to watch where I'm going. 6:25. Monster's still sleeping. I've had dinner. I had sweet and sour chicken and mashed potato. Mashed potato was lovely. Sweet and sour, I was quite disappointed in. It was a bit sweet but wallpaper pasty. There was plenty of chicken chunks in there, but just something missing. The flavour just weren't right. So, chili con carne was brilliant. The spaghetti bolognese is just, or pasta spaghetti, I think it is. It's brilliant. We're getting some gusts at the moment. Well, when I say at the moment, we've had them for the past hour. About 2 hours ago I checked the weather forecast because I saw that cloud, and I did a kind of a check on the Garmin Messenger forecast update, and it said 4 mile per hour winds, and a minute ago it was gusting like a good one. It was not 4 mile per hour winds. So I have to go and check guy lines in a minute on that side. It's coming from the northeast now. Northeast is about there. That makes sense. To our right. Whereas easterly is just behind us. So, and that's what most of the winds, any winds, are going to be easterly. So tonight they're switching from northeasterly to easterly again. So it kind of likes to play around. But I saw that cloud come in, and I was like a bit wary about what's coming, you know what I mean? Because after I chatted to you, a hell of a lot more cloud come, and it has covered us now. Temperature outside was 4 degrees above. So I was like, does this mean like snow flurries or a little bit of snow dusting? Because normally it gets milder before it snows, doesn't it? But the weather says, the update says about midnight, 1 o'clock-ish, skies are going to clear and it's going to drop to like -1, -2. Well, I'll believe that when I see it. It'll probably be a lot lower. But yeah, I'll have to check lines in a bit on that side, because they stretch themselves, don't they? Because I did time out really tight because I didn't expect any wind. Fire was going up to, we got 14 degrees in here. At the moment it's about 9, I think. Yeah, 9 degrees. I had to let it calm down. I put in the wet wood for a bit, and I wish I didn't because it just died again. I've got all this dry wood. I mean, there's the wet wood. You can see how, I don't know if you can see it there. You can see how much is wet and how much is dry. I was just trying to get rid of some of it at the back there. I think I've got enough for tomorrow. I won't cut any more tomorrow. I'll go through what I've got unless I've got no dry. I don't want to cut too much wood and leave a stack of wood alongside a tree again. But this last time it was so appreciated because whoever left that Scottish mineral water or spring water, whatever it was well appreciated, you know what I mean? As I say, the cap was all sealed, so someone knew I might come back, or someone might come back, so they were grateful for it, so it helped them out. There's no fire pit up here, so they must have used the same as me, like hot tent, something like that. Yeah, tomorrow I'd like to get into them woods and start at the end and work our way through a bit. Hopefully Stella will stay here. Oh yeah, pudding. I forgot to tell you I had pudding. I had rice pudding and cinnamon, and that was lovely. Haven't fancied coffee tonight. I don't know why. I think I've been drinking too much the last 24 hours. So yeah, once this fire gets going a bit, I'll stick in some nice dry one and get it going, burning nice and hot just before we settle down later. Got to feed the dogs in about an hour. So, and the other thing, look, there's not as much condensation. No, not as much. Probably where near Rebel is because the moisture come off them. I put a great big rock behind him because he keeps shimmying towards that tarp, and he still manages to get down there, even though I put a massive rock there to block him off. As I say, they're not cold. I've got to put their night jackets on as well. Stella's still got hers on. Look at it, all cocooned there. There you can see it, look. Well spoiled, ain't she? You alive, Stella? Yeah, eyes opened, so she is alive. That's the biggest thing that goes through your head now at her age. You could easily, I mean, it could happen at home, it could happen here, it could happen anywhere. You know, you could wake up in the morning and she could be completely stiff as cardboard. And that's not being nasty, it's just being truthful. At 16 years of age, it can happen to anyone, any dog. So, could happen to me. So that is the worry. But what do you do? I know for a fact if I couldn't leave her with anyone because no one would be responsible to look after her, because it's a lot to take on. She has to have her meds every morning and every night. And if I put her in boarding or some kind of kennel while we went away, that would kill her. I know it would. She's never been in a boarding kennel or anything like that, and nah, it would be end of her. And I'd come back and find out she died. So I'd rather her be with us if it happens. You know what I mean? It sounds a bit kind of dark, but you know what I mean. I don't want to leave her, and I try my hardest to give her the easiest possible, but she fights against me. It's like when we were doing the walking, I told her so many times, stay by the bags, just rest, stay by the bags. She didn't have to come walk back with me to go and pick my pack up, because we're doing leapfrog, you know, drop the pack, go back, get some bags, come back to the pack, drop the bags off, move the pack again. 3 miles turned to 5, but it was an easier way to do it because it was such a lot of weight to get in at one go. So, and that's why I have to carry so much to make sure she's okay. Things like foil mats, you know, as I say, extra dog jackets, blankets for them. I mean, as people say, you know, try and lighten your load and all that, but you can't when you've got 3 dogs. You've got to look after them. And if they weren't here, it'd be boring. I'd be sat here now in this tent by myself with a fire. It'd be nice for one night, but not for 3 or 4 or even 6 nights, no. But with them, even though I shout at them sometimes and tell them to get out of the water and tell them to do this and tell them to do that, it's part of the fun, part of the personality. It's quite... the wind blowing through my... I think that's going through my hammock straps that are outside. Or zip. There might be a zip somewhere. It's blowing through. Yeah, I think it's the front zip up there. It closes the gap at the top. I've had to close the gap at the bottom. I've got the carbon monoxide detector, but I had to close it because there was a gust coming in and swinging around us, which is quite cold. Once it eases off, I'll open that up again. But as I say, I'm keeping an eye on the carbon monoxide. I don't think it's even got a trace. Nothing. So I've got more in my house than here. Yeah, that's burning really slow at the back, isn't it? Well, I'm going to have to get that going. I'll let you know if we get blown away or wake up to about 6 inches of snow, because going by the weather forecasters, anything could happen. I think that cloud's going to blow through, and that's a mild front. When I say a mild front, mild in strength. And it's bringing out cold air still, but it's just passing through. Ooh. Yeah, 4 mile per hour winds. Yeah, okay. As I say, about 10, 12. Nothing too bad yet. But you just don't know which way it's going. Worst case scenario, I'll let the stove burn out and batten down the hatches and we'll just hunker down here. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't want the stove burning if the winds are getting too strong, because if that all goes over, you could end up burning the whole area down. Right. Chat to you later if anything happens. Hopefully not. It's hot. What we got? 13. Oh, I've had it 14 earlier. It's hot anyway. Dogs are freezing, shivering away like good ones. Still says never again. Oh, I'm full up. had enough to eat. I'm hot. And I've got stacks of firewood. There are three things you never hear in the Highlands at winter, isn't it? You know you're doing something right. Condensation's very little. That's because it's not as cold out. But just in the corners. But the question is, do I go to bed fully kitted out and wake up sweaty? Or do I go to bed with the basics and wake up cold? You just don't know what the weather's going to do. Now tomorrow I'm going to move that corner nearer and that corner nearer. I'm going to zip it all the way down. And just open and vent it when I like, because there's enough ventilation coming through the holes underneath. Not even a trace of carbon monoxide. Now that can change obviously with different woods. But I was leaving a great big gap there and we're losing a lot of heat. I think you have to be cautious, don't you? You have to think carefully about burning and all that, but I think sometimes you can get carried away and leave gaps all over the place. I mean, there's gaps at both ends up there where the hammock straps come through. So yeah, I'll leave a gap, but nothing like I have been. That's why I put the gaiters there to kind of bung up the hole, because when the winds were blowing, it was blowing through. And that's another thing, isn't it weird? When you're in your house, in your towns or whatever, you never comprehend how weather changes so quickly. Because when you're out in the wilds, especially in Scotland, you can be sitting here and 1 minute it'll be blowing like crazy, and it's like someone's just switched a switch and it suddenly stops. And you think, was it windy a minute ago? You know, it's been windy for about 2 hours, 2, maybe 3 hours. And then it just stops. Just like that. It don't kind of go die down nice and gradual. It kind of stops. Typical Scotland, isn't it? But we will get a frost later. That was that cloud bank coming in. It's gone over us. No snow. I don't mind a dusting. A little bit. That would be nice. But yeah, I don't want nothing deep like when we were at Magoo's. That was one to remember, that was. I still look back at that one and laugh my head off. Stella was 12 and she did that night, or day and night, she did 27 miles. And yes, I know Magoo's isn't 27 miles, it's something like between 5 and 8. But we got stuck in the snow and we had to do piggyback with all the gear. We had a trolley, if anyone's seen the video. We had to do 500 yards, stop, go back and get some bags, because we couldn't carry it all in the trolley because the snow was freezing the wheels and clogging them up. I was running along with round wheels, and they turned into kind of squares because of the snow stuck to them. So they wouldn't turn. So in the end, it was like a sledge. But pulling a sledge 5 miles, fully loaded, I think it had something like nearly 100 pounds with gear and pack and all that on. We had coal, bags of coal, firewood, you name it. The guy thought we were crazy, the bloke on the estate. Of course we know we are. But we just pretend we're not. But yeah, a little bit of snow would be nice. Right, I'm letting this burn down. I was doing some exercises with my knee because my knee's tightening right up at night. Since I've walked with these boots, because these boots, I ain't walked with these big boots before, you know, since the injury. And I guess that extra weight on the bottom of your leg, on your foot, sorry, I'm losing my mind, is making a difference when you're walking. So the leg is feeling it. So it's not so much there's any damage done to the leg, it's just it tightens up at night. And that aching is the tightening. So I was lying on my back here. You know, it's not even cold in here now because we've heated it all up. And I was doing some exercise and loosening the knee, and straight away the ache went, you know, because it's not so tight. So it's going to take a while. I did my injury about 3 weeks, around 3 weeks after Rebel did his. So he's had 4 months. So I've had about just over 3 months. And they say it takes good 6 to 8 months for a ligament to repair fully. So, and don't forget I was walking in with 75 pounds on my back. Oh dear, crazy. But you live and learn, don't you? Uh-oh, we're getting a little flurry. I went out there and checked all the lines, and guess what? That line there was loose. Don't ask me how. I checked it for slippage and it went slipping. So I don't know why it got loose. So maybe it was me doing something, I don't know. Maybe the dogs caught it during the day and I didn't see it. So I made it look worse than the wind was, I think. Still strong enough. Right, I'm going to let this burn out and then I'm turning in for the night, and I'll let you know in the morning if I woke up at 12 o'clock sweating, absolutely soaked in sweat, or I took the other option, stripped off and woke up freezing. You just don't know what the weather's going to do. Right, I'll see you in the morning. Say bye, dogs. Say bye, Stella. You are alive, ain't you, Stella? No, no one's interested. Sorry. You're going to have to just accept a bye from me. See you in the morning.